Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's time for Game 3 here between Puma and, of course, Lucky. This is the Assembly Winter third place consolation matchup, and so far been an exciting series. Puma is 2-0 right now, which really means he's got a lot of things going for him. He can actually afford to just cheese away a game and get a quick victory if he wanted to, and of course, all the pressure here is on Lucky's shoulders. Now, I want to remind you guys what happened when Lucky had all the pressure on his shoulders. What did he do in that one game? I believe he made a proxy hatchery at the Protoss Natural, and in fact it was this very same exact map with the very same exact spawns. Now of course the matchup isn't the same, it is a TVZ. Speaking of which, this actually favors Zerg by 2% overall, 52%, so that's something to keep in mind. But you know, Lucky has shown that he really is he can be a very cheesy player. Recall in IPL3, he Baneling bombed Boxer, which wasn't really that cheesy. It was just a bunch of burrowed Banelings. In the first game of this set, which was on Terminus, he attempted to go for a Roach Baneling all-in, and it probably would have worked if those Hellions hadn't scouted him out. Remember, Puma did go for a macro CC, so it probably would have worked. Now, we'll see, since he's down 2 games, if he's going to decide to cheese or not. He's gone into the macro phase against Puma 2 times now, and he's lost both. So that can't bode too well for his confidence. We'll have to see what he decides to do. And it looks like the drone is making its way over to the top right-hand corner. Of course, in most tournaments, they will force you to have a cross spawn on Antigua Shipyard because it's not the fairest map if you spawn right next to your opponent. If I want to invite you guys to think about this. If Puma was spawned over here in the top right as he is now, and then Lucky spawned over here, that obviously would not bode too well for Puma because his third would be pretty much easy access for the Zerg to attack. So anytime you have non-symmetrical spawns on most maps, especially on Antigua Shipyard, it can be very, very hard to balance that out. So they are cross-spawned right now. It looks like the drone trying to make its way in almost got killed by the 2 SCVs, but not before it saw the tech lab on the way. So we have a similar opening coming out from Puma as on Terminus, as he opened up with that Reaper. And will he transition into the macro CC again remains to be seen. Now, I would imagine that after each game in this tournament, the players were allowed to watch the replays of the game. So if Lucky watched the replay of Terminus, he probably realized that, Puma opened up with this build and went into a macro CC. Now, that time his Roach Baneling was scouted and his all-in was scouted and thwarted. So with that knowledge in mind, will he try to go for the all-in again? Will he hard counter the early Reaper? We do have Puma going for that macro CC, or not macro CC, but just in the normal expansion on the low ground. So looks very similar right now, guys, and we do have that initial Reaper coming out of the barracks. The barracks, of course, leaving the tech lab, factory coming on the tech lab, and I would imagine the reactor will be coming out of this barracks pretty soon here with that first 50 gas. Yes, so it's an identical build coming out of Puma. We've seen him employ this in the first game of this set, and it looks like, look at that, Lucky totally privy to it. He has the Overlord at the most conventional point for the Reaper to hop up. That's like the 1-2 step right there from Sierra. From Sierra, 1-2 step, 1-2 step. It looks like Lucky was totally prepared for that, and completely blocking that away. So very well done by Lucky. Who really, I would imagine, just probably watched the replay of the first game, realized what was coming by scouting out the initial build, and now both players have to ask themselves, do I grab that macro CC? And Lucky has to ask himself, do I attack the macro CC? And there is a macro command center coming up right now, so Puma is basically going for the same exact identical build. He's going to try to macro up a huge advantage, and if you think about it, this early command center, it doesn't just give you a 33% boost to your SCVs, it also gives you that boost to your mules. It also gives you a boost to your ability to comsat the Zerg. So by getting this early command center, you also have the ability to detect any type of early cheese just by comsatting. You don't have to send Hellions in there. So really, it's a very greedy and risky build, but it can pay off absolutely huge for Terran players who can pull it off. And I think I've seen Puma actually pull this off even when the Zerg all-in'd him. Not Lucky, but a different Zerg. So he has shown that he knows what to do in the face of great adversity. There are some Hellions making their way across the map right now, and there is a Roach Horn coming from Lucky. So Lucky may actually go for the same exact build here. We'll have to see if he makes a Baneling Nest or not. He is making 7 roaches, 8 roaches, 9 roaches. Now his whole plan here is to block these Hellions off. He cannot let the Hellions run into the main. If he lets the Hellions run in, it's game over. And it looks like the Hellions did not want to take the risk of running into the main. So right there, Lucky catching a very, very good break as the Roach Warden is pretty much at the front of that ramp. Those Hellions, if they make it up there, that is over. Now the Roaches have shown themselves. They are out on the map. So now the Hellions get the scout that they need to get. Of course, it was delayed because they didn't see the Roach Warden. Rather, they saw the Roaches, and the Roaches are making their way across the map right now. Now, thankfully for Puma, he is researching Siege Mode, and Siege Mode is about to finish. Man, Puma's build order completely on point. There is no hesitation, there is no delay. The Siege Mode will be there, ready and waiting to receive the Roaches. And it is only one Siege tank, so the Roaches can do some damage here. I'm surprised there isn't an Overlord here. Usually when Zerg players do this all-in, they leave an Overlord at the front door, somewhere nearby at least, so that they can bring the Roaches to the low ground, and they can snipe any tanks waiting on the high ground. And I think that I don't know if it was Lucky's mistake to not have an Overlord nearby, or perhaps it was just Puma being extremely diligent and sniping off any nearby Overlords, but usually most Zerg players will leave an Overlord nearby when they do that all-in, so they can pick off the bunkers, pick off the supply depots, pick off the tanks, especially on this map, because the way the main is designed, it's right accessible to the low ground at the front of the natural. So a bit surprising right there by Lucky, but now what is he going to do with all these Roaches? He went into this kind of all-in build, and he's gonna try to transition out of it into a macro game once again, and we've seen that fail twice already. The Hellion is gonna make its way in to scout to see if Lucky did expand or not. I don't think it actually saw the hatchery, so Puma does not know if this is some type of super all-in or if it's some type of transitionary all-in. He just doesn't know, and he should probably drop a comsat with that extra orbital command. I'm actually really surprised he hasn't dropped a comsat yet, so he doesn't really know right now what the heck is going on inside the Zerg base. He doesn't know where the Roaches are, has no idea on the forces, the location, or the economy of the enemy, but he is going to push out right now, and it looks like he is planning to secure the third. And really, he has all rights to do so. He deflected the Roach all-in, or the timing attack, if you want to call it a timing attack, and he is now going to expand out of it. He knows that he's got the advantage, he knows he's got the extra base, and as long as he plays it safe and by the book, there really is nothing that Lucky can do. Lucky has to figure something out right now, and I don't really know what he can do right now. He's trying to research +1/+1, trying to go up to layer tech. Let's check the drone count right now. Not as far ahead as most Zergs would like to be. And I'm sure Puma, if he could see the income tab right now, he'd probably be really, really happy to know that he's only down by 3. And he is, of course, even on bases with the Zerg right now, which is another plus. I also really like what he's doing right here, just building a supply depot at that little edge. He could wall that off entirely if you wanted to, as the rocks were broken down by the Roaches initially. And looks like Lucky is going to go ahead and break down his own set of rocks. There's the comsat I was talking about. Oh, so important, because now Puma knows that Lucky is trying to expand out of this. And I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised that Lucky did not, you know, commit to that attack, did not send an Overlord, like I said before, to the front to snipe out that tank, and has now basically pigeonholed himself into trying to play catch-up against the Terran. Now, all things considered, he's not actually that far behind. If you look at the supplies, he's 120 to 106. But look at the production tab. Oh my goodness, let me close the scoreboard real quick. Look at that, man. It's almost everything you could possibly... You're even throwing a sensor tower for extra measure. So, the Terran player right here, in the next couple of minutes, is going to have so many upgrades ready to go, and I can't say the same for the Zerg. He doesn't have even infestors out yet, and he's just now researching pathogen glands. So, you know, the great equalizer in Zerg versus Terran these days is the infestor. The fungal growth is just so damn good against Marines, but we are not going to see infestors for at least another minute or two. And we can see Puma starting to make an attack right now with all these Marines, but he's going to get surrounded. That was a little bit bold by Puma. There's so many Zerglings and Roaches here, and it looks like Lucky is going to catch yet another lucky break. No pun intended, but he cleans up that Marine army with relative ease. That was almost a give me. It was like a giveaway. Happy Christmas, happy presents from Puma. And now all of a sudden, Lucky is back in this game. All those Marines just died for nothing, and Lucky has got to feel good about that. He knows now he's got an opportunity. He's even spined and spored his third, anticipating the eventual drops. And you know what? I think Lucky is definitely poised to win now. If he can just play it solidly, you know, if he can deflect all the multitasking that Puma does, and of course, like I said, the spines and spores at the third are really going to play a pivotal role in that, because now he doesn't have to worry about multitasking his forces. Those automatically will snipe out any impending medevacs. It would be smart of him to spawn and spore the main two. Yes, he has. He's even set his Zerglings on patrol inside of his bases to anticipate the drops, so he is really playing as automated as he possibly can to take the stress off of him so he can focus on more important things. And that is so smart, man. That is just very, very intelligent. And here comes that first drop. Now, unfortunately for him, he doesn't have spines and spores here, but he has Zerglings there. Damn, I think Lucky is looking really, really good here, guys. And he's already on Hive Tech. He's going to be researching adrenal glands and the centrifugal hooks. That medevac is going to get completely shut down. No way, Jose, says Lucky. And the other medevac down here at the third is also going to get shut down. No, it's actually going to maneuver its way behind the third. And here we go. Puma going to try to get some drops in. He knows this is his opportunity. Behind the spines and spores, also attacking through the front of the map. Somehow has sieged up a bunch of the Zerglings and Roaches. Lucky was not paying attention. And Lucky just lost, oh no, he just lost a huge chunk of his army. I don't know what happened in the middle, but the tanks apparently just sieged up, and the Zerglings and Roaches happened to be there, and then a second later they happened to not be there. That's just what happened. So I don't know what Lucky was doing. The whole reason why he automated his natural defense was so he could worry about his forces, and he didn't do that. He ended up losing most of it, and now he's going to try to run by. Oh, there's an opening! The Zerglings are going to make their way in. I don't know why they're deciding to go for a sensor tower first, but I guess he's, I don't know, I guess he's planning to make additional attacks at this location, and he knows that that sensor tower can be a bit troublesome. As Puma makes an attack over to the top left-hand corner, there is some Zerglings over there, and we'll see if the Zerglings can clean it up or not. They don't have adrenal glands yet, but the additional Zerglings arriving will be enough to drive those Marines away. But damn, that last battle, which I didn't catch, I do apologize, Puma just absolutely obliterated the Zerg army, and because of that now Puma can establish the high ground on Antigua, which is so damn important. He can siege it up, he can bunker it up, he has Zelnaga tower control as well, and of course, even more important, he can make attacks over to the Zerg at 9 o'clock without any fear of retaliation. And now he's gonna drop the main at the same time. Damn, things are starting to look very sour for Puma. These are big plays by, or sour for Lucky, excuse me, big plays by Puma. And Puma is now dropping inside the main. No, he's going to make his way over to the natural. Could be another set of big plays here, because he could actually snipe out the Ultra Cavern, but there's too many Zerglings here. And it looks like with that amount of Zerglings, he's going to go ahead and fall back and maybe drop into the third, but there's too many cracklings around, and I don't think that Puma is going to be able to drop much more at all, because Lucky is totally over the base defenses. He's got Zerglings all over the place, but of course, because he's all over the defense, he's not on the offense, and Puma has totally fortified the middle of the map. Good grief. Even if Lucky were maxed right now, I would see a lot of problems trying to attack this location. I don't even know if it's possible. Look at how many bunkers, medevacs, tanks, high ground location, and even a planetary fortress to fall back to as well. This is just going to be damn nigh impossible. And another hatchery just gone down at the 9 o'clock, so now Lucky is basically pigeonholed into amassing a big army of Ultras and then attempting to slam into this location. He's about to finish 3-3. That could be pretty helpful, and especially if he can attack before the Terran gets 3-3, that would might work out pretty well for him. And will he make it the attack or not? I don't know. The longer he waits, the more planetary fortresses I feel like are going to come up, and the more bunkers. The fortification continues to increase here, and really Puma's power is accelerating beyond 9,000 now. It's so strong, and he's about to finish 3-3 now, so whatever upgrade advantage that Lucky had has essentially disintegrated. And I don't know, guys. I don't know. This is looking very, very bad for the Zerg right now. Of course, both armies are maxed out. Anything could happen, but Puma just has to sit right here, move out with medevacs once in a while, and make sure no more hatcheries come up. He should actually snipe out this hatchery down here in the bottom right with a medevac or something. But continue to maintain this central location, because maintaining this location not only allows him to strike the 9 and 3, but it also allows him to expand up to the 11 and the 10. And even the 9 and the 3 if you wanted to. Now here comes a Zerg. He is attacking. He's going to try to force his way through the Terran encampment, but once again we are having the meat grater go online, and Puma is just going to completely annihilate the Zerg. Lucky is out of it, and that was a 3-0 domination of Lucky. Unbelievable. Puma, I almost feel like he didn't deserve to lose, but he did lose to Stefano, which only means, can you guys imagine how high level those games are going to be? Stefano and Polt are going to be in the grand finals, and they're going to be playing for 10,000 and 6,000 respectively. That is a massive sum of money, and they were able to beat players of this caliber. So the next set of games, the final set of games, are going to be absolutely astonishing. I can't wait to bring those to you guys. Now, the winners of the third place consolation match, it is, of course, Puma. He takes home 3,000. Unfortunately, Lucky goes home with only a grand, but it's still $1,000. You can absolutely make some use of that. I hope you guys enjoyed these broadcasts. I'll be casting the grand finals tomorrow and then uploading it that night, so they should be out within 2 days, and I'll see you guys then. This is HD signing out.